feel amazing right now. I don't even know what day it is. I just know that yesterday was hard, psychologically and physically, and today probably it shouldn't be as hard psychologically. It's a shorter stage, much shorter, half the distance, but the terrain is going to be significantly more intense, and I can hardly move. This is me. So, I sorted out my feet last night. The toes, they're alright. The pain is in my feet and ankles, my right ankle actually. The swelling's gone down, looking at it, which is good because it was so inflamed. So I've got a bit of time this morning. I don't need to be out of here until 10. It's now 7:20. So I'm going to have another shower, warm myself through. Oh my God, my calves. Go next door, get some breakfast, make a bit of a lunch. Okay, so this is where I am. Slack House Organic Farm. That's a view over the front. If you're ever in this neck of the woods, this place has been a true morale booster. The hospitality is exceptional. I'm just going to have a look around. Apparently they sell... Oh, it's not open. Birdoswald cheese. And a little farm shop in here. It's probably still too early. Don't know if you can see in there. Outdoor toilet. I don't know if I'm allowed to wander around out here because it is a working farm. Just have a look at the back of the property. Wow. They've got a little dog in there. Wow. They've lived here for 30 years. Bought it in their late 40s. Honestly, this place cost me £65. I would have paid, if I knew what I was expecting, would have paid 100, 150 and not grumbled. If I knew what was, if I knew what I was walking into. So, time. Oh, that fire's beaut. Time to get some calories in. Well, that is me, just about ready to leave here. This place has been a saviour. Look at this, I've got 2 packed lunches made. I've made these myself. Peanut and jam rolls, good enough for the Americans. Peanut butter and jam rolls, crisps, oat bar, banana. Same again, I've got some snacks in my bag as well. I feel guilty because I've eaten so much food and drank so much of their orange juice, milks, coffees. I might leave a little bit extra money actually. Okay, I'm off. Goodbye, Slack House Organic Farm. Do you ever find you sometimes visit places and you feel quite emotional leaving them? This is one of those places. I really enjoy staying here. First stop, over in the far distance. Let me get out of the road. You should just be able to see around about there. That is Roman Fort, which I passed on the way here. It was closed. It's open any minute now. So I'm going to make my way back down there, have a look around, and then that's me back on the pathway then to get this next leg underway. I don't know if you can tell, it's considerably bleaker today, and the weather forecast has a wind warning, which is just going to add to the fun, isn't it? So this is Birdoswald Roman Fort. We are open. Cafe, visitor centre. Let me get in. Check I'm okay to record. Buy some replica armour. Hadrian became emperor in AD 117. So I did read on the reviews that this is a fantastic place to visit if you've got children, not so much for adults, or certainly this part anyway. And that gives you an idea how high the wall was. There's nothing, it's black. So this is one of the few places where graves are excavated. And these are urns. The god of fire and the god of sky. Oh, you can see the figures. And he was holding some sort of bolt. Okay, so the main part of the fort is outside. So, obviously it's not the fort, there's going to be just remains. I was just chatting to the two ladies who work here. This site was host to around 1,000 Roman soldiers. Obviously they wouldn't have all been Roman. The Roman army would take over areas and recruit troops from different parts of the world to join their legions. And that's obviously south facing. That building's been built over where the front of the fort was. This building, I believe, has been built on the drill square. So there's only 2 other people here today, and they're doing the route clockwise, so I'm going to go anti-clockwise and rebel against the instructions. So let's see what we've got. The end of Roman rule in Britain in AD 410 brought enormous changes to Hadrian's Wall. However, people continued to live within the walls of the fort. This was granary, and it continued to be used for about 100 years, but it says there's little evidence of who actually used these buildings. I believe they're probably descendants of the Roman garrison. How mental. People were milling flour here nearly 2,000 years ago. That is absolutely insane. Okay, these remains, foundations of a 16th century battle house. People built bastal houses to protect themselves from raiders who would steal loot and rustle castle. During raids, everything was herded inside through a wooden door in the western wall. Ravers sometimes burst down the doors to reach the livestock. Okay. So this place has been used heavily since the Romans arrived. And this is the Birdoswald estate, built in the 1840s by Henry Norman. It was also he who employed archaeologists to carry out the first excavations of this site. The Potter brothers from Newcastle excavated the fort's perimeter wall, 4 of its gates. There's a front gate, an east gate, a south gate and a west gate. Apparently the east gate is the most well shown. And they also excavated the commander's residence, which had a small bathhouse with a statue of the goddess Fortuna. Mr. Norman loved the place so much that he named his son Oswald. Oswald clearly didn't feel the same. In 1901 he auctioned the estate and sold his father's collections of sculpture and inscriptions. Cheers, Oswald. Make your dad proud. The granaries were huge storehouses containing as much as a year's supply of food. And that's what they would have looked like. Grain used for making mead, but also barley used to feed animals and for brewing beer. There's a lot here actually, history-wise. Yeah, this is the only drill and exercise hall, would have been in front of us, to have ever been found in a Roman auxiliary fort. It was a basilica, high wall flanked by oil, similar to the nave of a church. And they allowed the soldiers to train in wet weather without being outdoors. Who knew the Romans were so kind and caring, eh? Standing in front of, so I've just walked through the west gate. I mean, that looks quite impressive. I wonder how they know that it looked like this. So So you've got the wall along the front, and then the west gate would have allowed troops to move to the west behind the safety of the wall itself. Apparently that corner there got some fantastic views as I go around. The rarest traces of Hadrian's wall. What are we saying here? So the wall itself was originally a turf wall. Look up to the horizon. 2 dips in the landscape either side of the tree are the remains of the early turf wall. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. Let me zoom in. So there is the tree in the distance, and then there's a slight dip there and a slight dip there. So they are some of the earliest Roman defences along the whole of Hadrian's Wall, and it can only be seen here. Look at the Hadrian's Wall path is 84 miles. Okay, so Hadrian's Wall itself is not 84 miles, it's mid-70s. Can you imagine being part of the Roman military? Either from Italy itself, maybe southern Italy, or I don't know, from one of the regions that it had captured, maybe parts of the Mediterranean, and they send you here. Like, you must be questioning, well, you won't be questioning much, would you? You'd be following orders, but you'd be missing the Mediterranean weather. Look straight ahead. The next clue is right in front of your eyes. I don't know what the clue is. So Birdoswald Fort had workshops that helped keep the garrison running. Roman military units were including soldiers specially trained in metalworking. So I am here, and this was apparently the site of a workshop. How on earth do they know that? How do we know there were workshops here? It's answered my question. We don't, since the buildings here remain unexcavated. Southwest corner tower. The mound in this corner conceals one of 8 guard towers that protected Birdoswald's Fort walls over 3 centuries. That's actually mental, isn't it? Like, we talk about the Roman era, but they were here for 300 years. Jesus. Whoa, man. Who the hell's coming up there? Oh my God, and I've got to climb even higher than this. Changing frontier. You're standing above a meander of the River Irthing. So the cemetery was across this valley over there somewhere. So this is the south gate just there, and this area of land was occupied in the 3rd century by soldiers, Frisian soldiers from the northern part of the Netherlands, and they were recruited into the army in the 3rd century but lived separately from everybody else. It says it's not sure why they were brought here, but evidence of them being here has been found in the pottery when excavating. So this would have been all Dutch. Oh. Quite a large space to have 1,000 people in. And I guess they would have used it, and this is a guess, I guess they would have used this as a centralised sort of training, resting, workshop, working facility, and then, you know, there's little observation towers all along the route. They probably would have gone out there for a few days, a week, and then come back here and rest and recuperate and so on. So this is the southeast tower. Yep, I would have preferred this one. Much less wind. But this one would have been the best, the northeast. And then this would have been the east gate. So I imagine you would have had a watchtower each side with a couple of Romans in. Oh. Maybe they had an access and egress point. Maybe they're ahead of the times. Okay. I think that's Birdoswald Fort done. Right, I've had to go quite quickly around there because I've spent an hour, and that's an hour longer on my feet, even though they let me put my bag behind the counter. If you're watching this, that's a one-off because it's quiet. They don't do it in the summer, okay? But that's an hour extra on my feet that I don't really want to do. So at the same time, I'm here to capture the Roman history, aren't I? Anyway, I'm back with those monstrous peaks in the distance. They did say the water, oh my god, I'm just looking at how much higher that is compared to where I am now, and the wind's pretty bad. I'm already pretty high, as shown looking over to the west. So the wind up there is going to be monstrous. Oh. Anyway, lovely little place, helpful staff. It would be great to come and visit and spend maybe 2.5 hours there. There's a cafe, toilets, opportunity to fill your water bottle if you are hiking as well. Now I'm back following this beast. Right, I should add, and I'll need to review the footage when I'm editing this. Future Scott, review the footage, see if I've already mentioned this. Yesterday's leg was a total of 22 miles, and the last 3 or 4 miles I probably came across in the video, it was hard. Psychologically, all I was thinking was, as soon as I get to the place I'm staying, seafood will come and pick you up in the morning. I was taking photos at the bus stop about a mile before that fort. I was taking photos of the timings, and then as soon as I got to the place, I sat down and I googled get me home. No, I didn't. Google Maps, get me home, and then put in via public transport to see what it'd say. And it's crazy, isn't it? How much your brain will tell you to quit. And today I'm absolutely fine. My feet are a bit worse for wear, but what have we got here? Harrow Scar, a fortified gateway. Small forts and mile castles were part of the original wall. They were approximately every Roman mile, which is about 1.5 kilometres. And their purpose was to protect gateways through the wall. So I see. Don't know why it's just dawned on me. There would have been no way to get from the north to the south or vice versa because of the wall. They also allowed soldiers a way to patrol beyond the frontier. It's estimated that each one would accommodate between 10 and 30 soldiers. Sorry, I don't know if I caught it. That's what it would have looked like. So I'm currently standing about there. And I can imagine, and this is just me using my imagination, but I can imagine life here, even though it's only a short distance from the fort, I can imagine life here was much more chilled if there was just between 10 and 30 of you. You would have slept, eaten. I'm sure there would have been a watchtower looking out to the north. Oh my God. Seriously. But it would have been a pretty peaceful spot to be at. So at least I'm out of the wind. Also, if you ever want to feel remotely inadequate when doing some sort of long distance walk, have a Google of the fastest time someone's done it in. So I did that last night, and the fastest time someone has done this path by an ultra runner, I forget his name, he did it in 16 and a half hours. What? I mean, that is just outside of my imagination. And then I also saw there's a guy, I think he's called Tim Davis. I've actually watched one of his YouTube videos. He did the length of the path dribbling a football. So this is again talking about crossing the river. That's what it would have looked like. I don't think it means this though. I know it said to go left, but there's an information panel here, so I'm just going to have a quick look at it. Don't know if you can see in the distance, there's some steps going up in the distance. And there's a man stood at the top just staring at me. Oh, he's just moved. So that was the first bridge that they built. That was the second bridge, which looks weaker than the first. And then that was the third. I'm not quite sure where it's implying the bridge was though, because the river is swooping around there. Can you see that guy in the distance just staring? Top of the stairs, just to the left of the farm. Maybe he wants to offer me a lift. Oh, he's coming back down. He's running down. Oh, this will be interesting. What's it mean if sheep lay down? Is that an indicator of rain? The woman in the fort, the museum part, she showed me her phone's weather forecast. Total opposite to mine. Hers is saying it's going to be sunny by midday onward and then sunny tomorrow. Mine is saying weather warning for today, wind warning, and then rain all day tomorrow. I'm hoping hers is correct. Can you imagine the bloody manpower that went into putting this together 2,000 years ago? Well, what do we do? Alternative route through Gisland village. Dutenio bridge crossing being available. The alternate route adds about a mile on. Do I risk it? Meant to be an adventure, innit? Let's have a look. So instead of adding a mile on, I'll end up getting down here, having to turn back and adding about 2.5 miles on. So it says it's just the railway tracks. And the path must surely have crossed the track originally. Does it mean no crossing this stream? There's a little bridge there. Is it safe? Looks safe enough. It's hardly the fall from hell if it isn't. Whoa. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. And now I'm going to head up in that direction, get across these train tracks. What could possibly go wrong? What does it mean there's no crossing? There's a clear crossing. Plenty of vision as well. It's not like you're in any danger here. I'm not saved a mile and a half because this is the route, but I've avoided doing additional. And there's no sign in the opposite direction saying you can't go that way. You know, one of the frustrating things, and this is really, really trivial, but the route, I've just come through that gate and the route is to go that way. Why put the information thing there? I can imagine it's to get a better view of this, but I don't want any extra steps, man. That's interesting. So this was Poltros Burn, a tiny fort. Wow, look at that. This mile castle, larger than most, was in use from AD 120s well into the 4th century. It was modified several times. Both gates were narrowed and 2 barracks were built, each with a veranda and 4 rooms. The barracks could have easily accommodated a garrison of around 30 soldiers. Pretty cool, actually. Look at this. Walking down a path that Roman soldiers would have walked down. And it's a good job these walls are only 2.5 feet high, because I would not fit down these at all. These are very narrow. So each of these would have been, or maybe those longer ones would have been a dorm, then one of these might have been a kitchen, storeroom. It's wild, man. So much history. Absolutely wild. I just had a mild panic then. Look, I saw that bridge and thought, oh my god, what if part of the bridge is missing? And that's what they meant. Having said that, you could easily walk across. It's not deep at all. Right, is this safe? It feels it. train. No, look, so I've just come up that hill. It does tell you here to take this diversion all the way around to where I was. I've just come straight up. So that mile castle I was just at, that's apparently the best preserved example. Poltrusburn Mile Castle. Right, this is actually out of the wind, and there's a bench here, so I might stop and have a snack. Gisland, the spar on the wall. So that was Gisland. Birdoswald Fort, been through there. Willowford Bridge, been through there. Come all the way along here. And I'm, I don't know, here somewhere now. Is this someone's garden? So I made the decision yesterday, whenever I stopped on this leg of the journey, I would take my jacket off, put some warm kit on, and just try and minimise the damage from the wind. To be fair, I'm not in a bad place. Anyway, peanut butter and jelly sandwich, strawberry jam for his spritz, and peanut butter. Never had it before, it's an American thing. Okay, we push on. And that's the unfortunate reality of stopping to eat or break. I'm frozen to my bones now. That I'll warm up very, very quickly. The village that I just bypassed was actually on the northern side of the wall, which would have been quite interesting. I wonder how they got along with the Romans with it being so close. Hello, little ram. How are you doing? Don't worry, mate, you're alright. The higher I get, the worse this wind is getting. Look at this. Houses. Sheep in the middle. Houses. They make good use of land up here. Are they all excited to see me? What the hell? Hello? Jesus. Chill out, man. I'm only walking. Oh my god, they've started this side and I've got to get over here. Oh jeez. Oh my god. Why are they sprinting? All right. Oh my god, there's hundreds of them. There's hundreds. Please don't all run over. Holy shit. Chill out, man. What? What? Stop. Thank you. I don't like turning away from them in case I get charged. Bloody hell. Oh, I've missed the name of this farm. I was just chatting to the farmer. And he said, yeah, it's lambing season, so they're feeding the sheep at every opportunity. So any human they see, they think it's food. He was telling me I might get attacked by some geese up here. But I told him where I'm staying tonight. He said he's about 4 or 5 hours away. I mean, I know these inclines are going to be steep, but 4 or 5 hours, man. Oh, there's the geese. Oh dear. These are the worst. You have to pull it up, pull it through, but it's so small, you end up nipping your fingers. I hope he was joking about the geese attacking me, because this path goes right past them. Oh jeez. Hello. You alright? I'm not going around. Oh my god. So what have I had? Dogs bit me, horse freaked out, herd of sheep. Oh, the farm that I stayed last night, I don't know if I said. When I went into the kitchen area, I left the door open and their sheepdog come running up to me. And I knelt down to stroke it and it just jumped in my arms. Gave me like it just curled up, big old sheepdog, just curled up like a C shape, just like looking at me. 4 to 5 hours from here will be getting dark because of the hour that I spent at the fort, and from what I've read, oh my god, I can just see the train in the distance. From what I've read, not just the train's more difficult, but there's so much more to see coming up, history-wise. So, you know what though? What a cool guy that farmer was. Just chatted for about 5 minutes, and full of enthusiasm, full of positivity. They must get annoyed. In the summer, I was talking to the people at the fort. In the summer, this is just flooded, the whole path just flooded with walkers and tourists. So it must be frustrating for the farmers. But he was a nice guy. So I was getting some pain in my right Achilles area, like it was blistering, so I've just taped the area up. Looking at it, it doesn't actually look like it's chafing. What appears to be the problem is because the swelling in my right foot and right ankle is increasing. that's obviously putting pressure on the heel, so I've taped it up anyway. It feels alright now. It doesn't feel alright, it's still painful, but there's no growing pain like what was happening. So at the moment I'm back on a road next to a golf club. Interesting. Holt Whistle Golf Club and Wall End Farm, and I'm anticipating just after these buildings there's a railway track. I thought I was going to be going up and over there. I'm anticipating just out of these buildings I'm going to veer a left again, and then the crags are just out of sight, and that is when the fun will truly begin for today. You know, I'll tell you one thing I've also noticed as well. Everyone that I've spoken to who lives here, they're all so proud. Like, there's a real pride in talking to the farmer who's talking about the Solway Firth, which is the stretch of water where this journey began. And he was saying at the top of the crags on a clear day you can see the Solway Firth, and like, it's beautiful. It's refreshing to hear such pride in where you live. I always see little stretches of houses like these in the middle of nowhere and I think, what do you do for work? How do you live in the middle of nowhere? Unless they work at the farms, maybe. Oh, look at this, Juniper Cottage Honesty Stand. Fresh water, eggs. Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? Good question. Water station, a stick library for dogs. Love that. However, it doesn't appear open for business. I just saw, I'll hold the camera over, see if it catches it. Chickens! Okay, there's an old castle just there. Okay, so this is Thirlwall Castle. It was built in the early 14th century by John Thirlwall as an impressive family stronghold. It was made from recycled Roman stone, and helped repel attacks from unwelcome visitors during Anglo-Scottish border raids in the 15th and 16th centuries. That's what it once looked like, if you can make that out, and that is what it is now. Literally the wall that you see in front of me. So yeah, right, look at this for a picturesque place to live. Wow. Oh. This is beautiful. Okay, so here's the worrying thing. I'm just past, in terms of mileage, just past the halfway point. In terms of time, about 2.5 hours, ignoring the hour lost at the fort, minus a 20-minute break, about 2 hours and 10 minutes. The farmer said it's going to be about 4 to 5 hours from this point. So just how bad are these inclines going to be?
So they're the crags that I took a video of yesterday. They're in the distance. I'm really hoping there's not a massive drop and then I've got to do that incline again. That is horrific. Okay, I've just had to have an impromptu break and this rock is looking like a comfortable seat. I'm just about to start the most arduous part of today's trip and perfect timing, I got cramp in my hamstring. So I'm going to get some electrolytes in, have some more, I'll have some jerky and a protein bar, get some fluids in, do a bit of stretching and then, yeah. So I just walked for a bit with a Scottish couple. They were looking for Thirlwall Castle, which is the one that I passed a while ago. And I told them how to get there. I said, look, the way there is going to be quite comfortable because it's a big decline, but the way back is horrific. So they're off to, there's a car park somewhere down there. They're off to go and see if they can drive there because she's got issues with the mobility or balance, sorry. And I am on my way. This section is really not well signposted at all. I'm clearly going this way though, aren't I? Keep clear of rock faces. No swimming in ponds. Keep children under supervision. Don't climb fences. Keep to pathways. Follow information signs. Now there's no sign here. Oh. There's a sign for the way back if you're going in the opposite direction. So it's either that way or that way. I've got a feeling it's this way, but I've also got a feeling that's going to give me some incredible views. And maybe I can go up to the top and then traverse along the ridgeline. Asked me to take some photos of him. I'm the first person he's seen today, and we just had a quick chat, and it's quite moving actually. He started at Wallsend where I'm finishing. He's got no equipment with him, no baggage, but they do baggage drops along the way, and oh my god, look at this. This is what it's like now, all the way. He's doing the walk for his granddaughter. She died 6 months ago, 32 years old. Fair play to him. He come up this hill like a rocket, wasn't even out of breath. And he was just talking about his plans. He's got a pub to stay in tonight, not far from here. And then He was talking about getting to Carlisle. I don't think people realise how far Carlisle is away from here. Like, it's not particularly challenging. I mean, the last part in this direction was, but going the opposite direction, once you get past that first 5-6 miles, it's pretty flat, but it's long. It's so long. Wow, look at this. Oh wow, is that where they meant no swimming? No wonder, who wouldn't want to go swimming in that? Can I zoom in? Of course I can zoom in, only by 2 times though. That in the summer, I can imagine everyone ignores those signs. Though how you would get down there, oh clearly you can get down there, you can see the trails and they don't look like animal trails. So just had a right strop. I'm just sat against this wall, getting some more electrolytes in, and thought I'd check the map. Last time I checked the map, it said 2 hours 20, 2 hours 30. So I checked the map, it said 2 hours 40. I'm like, what? Honestly, I'm like, what? And I'm looking behind me at the sun. I'm like, well, it's not like my phone's reliable because it told me wind warnings today. So I checked it twice and it's telling me it'd be quicker to walk all the way back to where I was 40 minutes ago, get on a road and then walk to the place that I'm staying tonight. That don't make sense. Anyway, put my phone down, had a bit of a sulk, checked it again and zoomed right in. And because where I'm sat, the only place I could sit comfortably is 10 metres, 15 metres from the track. For some bizarre reason, it's telling me to walk all the way back 40 minutes to join the track 10 metres to my left, 15 metres, 20 metres, to then walk all the way back. So I recalculated, it's 1 hour 40. That's much better, but look how nice is it that the sun's appearing. Beautiful. As you can probably hear, the wind now is the worst it's been on this journey. It's just tearing through me. Even walking as briskly as I can, I am cold. So I'm not far from where I'm staying tonight, thankfully. Probably another 30-40 minutes. Excuse me. Today has been rough. Totally different to yesterday. Yesterday was very much about the length of time that I was walking. I mean, I left at 8 AM and I arrived at the farm at 5. Today has been nothing close to that sort of length, but the inclines have been torturous. The wind has just sapped energy out of my system while my body's trying to keep itself warm. Brakes have been horrific. The scenery's been great. The problem is, once you've seen it, seeing it again 300 metres down, yeah, great. So anyway, I'm going to find, there's a pub in between where I am and where I'm staying, so I'm not sure. I might eat and then go and just rest. I think there's a pub near to where I'm staying as well. Got a bit of time to think about it, haven't I? Cold is so bad. My phone has just gone from 35% to 0 in a matter of 10 minutes. I need to get out the wind here briefly. No, it's not a bridge. Interesting. Okay, I need to get out the wind briefly and put it on charge because it's got the pin number to get in where I'm staying. It's quite frustrating because it was tracking my steps and distance. Last time I looked 40 minutes ago, I was over the 10 mile mark, and today was meant to take 10 miles. To be 10 miles. Oh yes, oh yes. So this is quite a good map actually. So I'm here. It's a shame I've not got more time. Tomorrow I would love to go to Vindolanda and I would love to go to Sycamore Gap. I'm gonna have to pick one of the two. Just eaten. Sat right next to the fire, which I'm so cold. Yeah, I'm cold to my bones. So I was next to the fire, and oh my god, where am I going? Where am I going? I'm done, man. I can't do any more walking. I just can't do it. I'm still walking around this bloody building. This is a YHA hostel. How much money are they making? This is the cheapest place I've booked so far. I think it's just £35. I think this is it actually. This might not be it. The accommodation might be on the back. This is a new one. Look at this. Drops down. Why don't they just have a simple pin like most? Redesigning the wheel. Hey look, there's a kid running away in the distance and the van's chasing him. What's going on? Look at this. Just not necessary. I mean, they've got a lot of fancy stuff here, but no clear direction on where I'm meant to be bloody going. That's all closed, isn't it? How about over here? Welcome to the YHA, the Sill. Maybe if you didn't hide it behind a bush, mate. Maybe if you didn't hide it behind a bush. I'm in 108. So far, very impressed. Emma's on the front desk, very helpful, giving me a bit of insight into the building. She's here until she's here until 10 if I want any more food. Might go down for hot chocolate in a bit. This was £35. I've got an ensuite. Oh. I mean, it feels like it's going to be a great place. I mean, we'll see what it's like when I'm in. I can handle that. Got a lovely view of the car park. What's the bathroom like? That'll do. Do you know what? It's very warm in here. Oh, I don't want to open the window though. It's still quite cold and deep in my bones. So, okay, I'm going to get myself unpacked. And, yeah. Right. Recap of today, summary of today. Was it worse than yesterday? I think it was. It was just relentless. You'd go up 5 minutes, down 5 minutes, up, down, up, down. It was not enjoyable at all. And then the last 5-6 miles, I can't even remember what I've recorded, but I'm pretty sure I will have captured it. You'll see. I was frozen to my bones. So I eventually got to the pub just round the corner and I sat next to the fire to get some food. And even after 45 minutes in there, I was starting to fall asleep with the heat from the fire. But I've got that deep cold inside of me. Coming up's not an issue because I can use my thighs, but coming down where you've got to sort of slow yourself down and your toes are pointing down, any sort of ankle movement, it's hurting. And then when the ground's not even, which is often, it's brutal as well. It's probably not as painful as yesterday actually, thinking about it. I can put weight on it a bit better. So that's one promising sign. Blisters. I mean, when I took my shoes off, I taped all my feet up. They were bleeding through the tape. They won't and haven't caused me any pain today. I won't put a photo up, but my left little toe now is just all a blister. But I'm not too concerned. I'll have a shower in a second, clean them thoroughly, and then that's it. Just let them air for the evening, so they'll be fine. Similar to yesterday, the last hour left me feeling, what the hell am I doing?